Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm the Strategy Professor, and today we're going to be looking at a Gold 5 Zyra support game. So if you're new to the channel, you can always access this Google Doc in the description. You can also jump straight to the game start time if you want, or straight to the post game if you'd like. What we're going to do is just talk really briefly about the pregame here, and then I will take notes as we watch the video, write them down, and at the very end, bring it all together and try to give Jenny the best 5 to 10 tips or so to improve her play as Zyra. So let's go ahead and get in here. Now, Zyra is someone that I do have a ton of experience on. I played a lot of Zyra in Season 3. I played quite a bit of her last season and the season before. So I have, you know, over 500, probably somewhere between 500 to 1,000 games of Zyra support. So this is something that's in my wheelhouse compared to some other coaching videos that I have done recently. It is fun to research and learn about some of these new champions, but I can definitely speak with a bit more authority on Zyra than some of the other champions that I've done in recent memory in terms of like very specific matchups, skill orders, itemization, power spike, stuff like that. Okay, so pre-game you need to be trying to get at least 1 ward down per minute as usual, and 1 control ward per 5 minutes. I don't recommend zombie ward on Zyra, but if you do go zombie ward, then you need to try to get at least 2 wards per minute on average. Okay, so for the preseason with Zyra, I recommend Comet, Mana Flow Band, Celerity, Scorch, Biscuit, and Footwear. I like Comet more than Airy because each one of your plant hits reduces the cooldown of Comet, so Comet is actually up quite a bit. And when you have multiple plants hitting multiple people over and over again in a team fight, the Comet will proc quite a lot, and it's just way more damage than Airy in the mid to the late game. So I much prefer that to Airy. Mana Flow Ban is kind of the standard. They're thinking about nerfing it again for 8.2. If they do, you know, you might consider something like Ulti Hat, but right now I would still probably go with Mana Flow Ban. It just helps you out with more harassment in the lane. Although Zyra doesn't really have a ton of mana problems, you know, more mana will allow for more harass. Celerity is still the pick. Move speed's just very good in general. Zyra is a pretty frail champion. If people get on her, she's going to die. So having that extra 12 or so move speed, it's like a half a brown boot, is a really good bargain. You do get a couple of points of AP here and there. It's just whatever, but you primarily get it for the move speed. You could consider going Transcendence for the extra CDR. Zyra really does like CDR. Her ult's very powerful, but that doesn't help you out as much in the laning phase. And Zyra is really designed to be a lane-dominant champion who snowballs hard into the mid to late game if you want to be effective on her. So that's okay, and I can't even remember what the other choice in that tree is, but don't get it. Just get Celerity. Okay, and then Scorch is the final thing that you want. They have nerfed this, but it's still really good for early game harassment. You don't want to get Gathering Storm. I mean, that is nice for like late game and scaling, but Zyra is just all about that early game and the snowball. As far as your secondary, I think Inspiration's where you want to go. Biscuits are very nice. It does help give you back a bit of mana. It does give you some sustain in lane, which Zyra really likes. And then Magical Footwear is just excellent. It's just a great bargain. It's one of the best runes on pretty much everybody. Gives about 400 gold worth of value, 400 to 450, depending on how much you value the flat movement speed. So that's a really good bargain. It does kind of slow down your build into Sork Boots, but typically I would say that it's still going to be worth it overall. I mean, other options might be you could go for something like Eyeball Collection with Cheap Shot if you think you're going to land a lot of your E's in lane. Like, that's okay, but they've nerfed Eyeball Collection quite a bit. I don't like that as much. It just takes too long to get going, and I really like the Biscuits in lane. The extra sustain is excellent when you're trading with the enemy, so I think that's really good. And then Footwear, like I said, is just a great bargain. I guess you could go, like, if you're against maybe another poke champion like a Lulu or a Sona or a Nami or something like that, I guess you could go something like Mirror Shield plus Second Wind, just for more sustain in lane. That would be interesting. But those would probably be the only ones I could think of. I have tried in the past also. You can go for Triumph and Coup de Grace, but they have nerfed Coup de Grace. They're nerfing it again next patch. So I would probably just default back to Biscuit Footwear for now until they nerf something about those, which I suspect will probably happen in a couple of patches. But this is patch 8.1, by the way, when I'm doing this review. But anyways, there's a lot of options, but this is the one that I would recommend. You always want Sorcery as your main, at least for now. And then the secondary is kind of up to you, but I think this is the most versatile and good bargain. Economical. Versatile and economical. Okay, build order, I would go Frostfang, especially in patch 8.2, which is coming out in a few days. You want to rush that Frostfang ASAP. The reason for that is it's pretty good in general. It does give you extra poke. It obviously gives you extra gold, which is nice, but it does give you extra poke, because don't forget that every time you hit somebody, it does do that on-hit damage, which does add up quite a bit, especially with Zyra, where the poke is so simple. You just put plants on people, and it's going to hit them. Each plant hit's going to trigger part of the Frostfang. So that's really good, but also once you get to 500 gold with Frostfang, then you get your Sightstone after that, and so that is a really, really good bargain. So you don't get your wards until you get a lot of gold off of Frostfang, so you want to get that gold off of Frostfang as fast as you possibly can to complete that quest. So this is a must-rush item. Right now, I do like Frostfang, but if I'm ahead in lane, if I get a kill or two on patch 8.1, then I typically just like to get an Amp Tome and come back to lane and try to get another kill. And if I keep snowballing like that, then I'll just go with like Haunted Guys and the Sork Boots and come back later and get Frostfang, you know, maybe like 15 minutes or so. But on this, you have to get Frostfang early, because that's how you get your wards. So 8.2, definitely rush Frostfang. And you just want to get penetration as fast as you can, Haunting Guys, Sork Boots, Void Staff. And this is actually going to be, Zyra's going to benefit quite a lot in 8.2, because she's not going to have to build Sightstone, which is going to save her 800 gold, and that's going to let her propel and snowball even harder into her penetration items. So I think the AP supports are going to hit their power spikes a lot faster than they do on live right now, because they don't have to buy that. I mean, utility supports are also going to hit some of their power spikes. They're going to be getting Redemption faster or Locket faster to help counter you, but I think in general this is pretty beneficial for AP supports to not have to buy Sightstone. So yeah, just Haunting Guys, Sork Boots, Void Staff. This is almost always what you want to go. You want to complete this. Whenever you complete this into Leandries, kind of depends. Usually I'll do it after. You definitely want Haunting and then Sork, so you get the maximum flat penetration possible. Then after that, you have a choice of either going Void Staff or completing Leandries. It kind of depends on how much gold you go back with. If you have enough to go ahead and buy like a Blasting Wand and an Amp Tome, then you might want to go ahead and work towards Void. Void is really annoying to complete because it requires like 1365 gold, I believe, to finish that off, which is just ludicrous. It's really, really annoying. But Haunting Guys does require an extra 1600 gold to complete that, and so that's pretty annoying too. So this is pretty like user-friendly to complete these items, but getting to Leandries and Void Staff is pretty annoying if you're not snowballing hard. You're going to be sitting around with like, you know, 500 gold on your backs, and it's going to be very frustrating. So that's when the itemization for AP supports kind of starts to kick in and get annoying. But either way, I think that's what you want to go. Most of the time, Leandries, if you come back with just a wheelbarrow of cash, like you've just killed 4 people or something, you might consider going for Void Staff instead. Void is probably more damage if you get that before completing Leandries, but Leandries is quite a lot of damage. Then your final item is just kind of like a utility item. A lot of different options here. Like you could go, I like Rylai's. Rylai's combos very well with the penetration with Leandries, because all of your plant hits are going to proc the Leandries, and the burn damage off of Leandries does even more damage because it's cutting through their magic resist. Because the Void Staff, all that penetration applies to the damage off of Leandries as well, because that's magic damage. And so Rylai synergizes very well with Leandries, and it always has, and it does synergize very well with Void Staff. So that's good. Another option here might be something like Luden's Echo is pretty good. The extra damage that you do off of Luden's Echo, once again, synergizes with the Spell Pin very well, so that proc is going to do even more damage. It does have more AP on it. You're going to be super squishy with like no HP other than off of Leandries if you do that. You're not going to have the slow, although your E-plants do apply a slow. So Luden's is okay. The extra move speed is nice for kind of a little bit of extra mobility. You could also go Banshees if they have a hook champion like a Blitzcrank or a Thresh or like an Ash Arrow or just something else that's really annoying, like a Malphite maybe. Just like a point click that could blow you up. then you might want to consider going Banshees. You could also go Hourglass if they have like a Fed Talon or a Fed Zed. Hourglass can be a pretty decent option, or like a Karthus or something. So this is really just a utility slot that's going to depend on like game to game. But I think if you just kind of want to know what's the basic generic thing you should get, usually Rylai's is a good balance of offering extra damage and utility and a little bit of extra survivability at this point. Do not get Rylai's before you complete all of these items. Okay, Rylai's is a very low damage output item. It is utility. You only want to get it after you already have Liandry's. And if you get it before you get Void Staff, I mean, maybe if you're worried about dying a lot, you can get it, but you're giving up a lot of damage to get Rylai's instead of Void Staff. Okay, so I see some people still rushing Rylai's or getting Rylai's like directly after Haunting Guise or Liandry's. That's a mistake. You always want Void Staff unless you're just really scared of dying and you need that life. I probably wouldn't go Death Cap. Maybe if you come back and you just have like 4,000 gold or something, maybe you get a Death Cap, but under most circumstances, you'd rather just have a bit more utility at this point, because Zyra is going to be one-shotting people with this stuff by this point. Like, once you complete this stuff, she's going to erase a lot of people. So, you know, you really just want to go for utility type of stuff. More like, you can go for the Death Cap. You will have another slot for Death Cap probably, because you don't have to get Sightstone. But right now, I wouldn't recommend upgrading to the Tier 3 ward item into Eye of the Watchers, because it's going to cost so much extra gold for a 4th ward, and I don't think it's going to be worth it. I mean, let me see. I'm going to, you know, I'll have to see how they release this new, on the next patch, how they release Eye of the Watchers. But right now, why people get Eye of the Watchers is because they have to get Sightstone anyways as a separate item, and since you already have Sightstone and since you already have Frostfang, then it's just a little bit more. It's just 550 more just to buy that extra ward and just combine those 2 items into one slot to save an inventory slot. So that's the biggest thing, is you save an inventory slot, and you're already kind of priced into it anyways because you've already bought the Sightstone. So you just kind of just pay in the rest of it. It's kind of like in poker when you've already bet, you know, however much, $5 on a hand or something like that, and then someone else bets $1 into you just to see the final card or whatever, or just to, you know, it's on the river just to see what happened in the hand. Sometimes you're priced into it. Like, even though you're not sure if it's a good idea, if you're going to win, or if it's that efficient, just paying that extra little bit is just worth it just because you already have so much invested. And so that's kind of the same concept here with Eye of the Watchers. You're just sort of priced in. But once you can get Frostfang, and once that already gives you the 3 wards, I believe it's going to cost an extra, like, almost 1,000 gold. And I don't think in its current iteration it's going to be worth it. So for 1,000 gold, you're getting 15 AP and an extra ward. It's like 1,000 gold. You know, you're getting 326 value for that. You are getting the HP off of it, so you're still going to be getting the 200 health, which is okay. That's like a 500 gold value, so that's like 825 gold value, depending on, you know, once again, how much they price it. So, I mean, that, you know, you might think, well, that could be worth it, but my instinct is that it's not, because you're paying a lot for health there, and you're not getting that much damage out of it. And as Zyra, you want the damage. Like, who cares? I mean, health is nice, but I would just much rather spend that 1,000 gold finishing up Void Staff or something else, rather than getting, like, a pinch of extra AP and, you know, a 4th ward. So, we'll see how it goes down, but right now, you're not going to be as priced into it, because you're only paying 850 of what will probably be an 1,800 gold item. So I think that changes the math around a little bit, and I think you're going to keep Frostfang for most of the game until the very, very end, when you just can't buy anything else, and then you'll probably get Eye of the Watchers, but I wouldn't upgrade it quickly in patch 8.2. Okay, for maxing, I would max E. This is your big crowd control ability. It also does more damage than the Q now. I think it's 240 versus 210 on the Q. You never want to max Q. You can get a couple of points in Q and lane for more poke if you want to, but the issue with Q is you're going to burn through your mana pretty quickly. Like, Mana Flow Ban does help with this, but you have to remember that most of your damage is going to come from your plants. And so the cooldown on your trade, on your sort of trade cycling is based on your plants, which has a 20-second recharge time. So yes, you can reduce the cost from 7 down to 5, but you're still going to be waiting 20 seconds on your next seed a lot of times with your Q, because you don't just want to use a raw Q most of the time without your seed, because it's very middling damage. You're paying 70 mana. If you get 2 points of this in lane, you're paying 70 mana for 95 damage. That's really, really weak. Most of the damage comes from the plants, so you have to wait on the plants anyways, so getting the lower cooldown isn't really going to matter that much, okay? Versus this does end up costing more mana, so that's true, but it also does more damage, and it has the crowd control. This is the big one. It takes your crowd control from 0.75 to a 1.75, and that's really important, especially for your ult, because you want to make sure that people can't flash out of your ult, and this takes 1 second to trigger. So when you hit them with your E, you drop your plants and your ult, then it's going to ensure that they stay in it until they get knocked completely up and they can't flash or dash out of it. Because with only a 0.75 root, if you get 3 points in your Q and lane and then you get your ult, they're just going to get out of it in 0.75 seconds and they're going to flash out of your ult. And you don't want that to happen. You want them to get knocked up. I mean, I guess it's 2 seconds, so technically they could flash out, but there's a much smaller window to do so. If you ult. If you cast your ult while your E is already flying towards them, then they're probably not going to be able to get out of it once you know that your E's going to hit. So you want to root and keep them in place as long as possible to let your plants hit them more, in addition to your ult. But even just in like normal trade patterns, you want to keep them rooted for as long as you possibly can. This is also, incidentally, your wave clear, like your really good wave clear, when the wave's just like rolling up the lane in a straight line, and you just push them out of lane and you're trying to back as fast as possible. Just throwing a root right down that lane helps you wave clear so much faster than the Q does. So it's your wave clear, it's your longest CC, it's your highest damage, it's just everything that you want. Does it have a 12-second cooldown versus whatever, a 5-second cooldown? Yes, but it doesn't matter because you're waiting on your plants anyways in the laning phase. So that's my reasoning for going E. I think that as far as Q and W go, I like maxing W second, and the reason is, once again, you're waiting on the plants for most of your trades. This is your damage, so it doesn't look like it's doing any extra damage because you're like, oh, well, it doesn't do any damage. But the lower the cooldown is, this is more damage overall because you're getting to trade more often, and in team fights, you're getting more plants. Yes, you do get an extra plant whenever you get a kill or an assist now, after the most recent change to Zyra, but it's still really important to just get down as many plants as possible. Now, this Q does do higher burst damage, but you're not going to have as many plants in a fight. Also, plants are very important for vision control. I talk about this in my Zyra guide. You can use a plant to scout a tri-bush, and then put your plant in that tri-bush to see around and clear pink wards. So, for example, let me see if I can get a better map here. Okay, here we go. Nice. Okay. So, for example, like, if you're on red side, one of the most annoying things to deal with as a support is trying to control this area to see if you know, the jungler is going to come, but they're almost always going to have this pinked, right? So when you push them in a tower, which you will, as Zyra a lot of times, you can come over here and put a seed in this bush. It'll scout to see if the jungler's there, has a much larger range than Sightstone. I think Sightstone can place wards at like 600, and the seed is like 800. So you can see much further. Then you can use your Q, it'll spawn the plant here, and the plant will see this entire area. So the plant does not get canceled by the control ward. Okay, so if you put a normal ward in here, you'll see it briefly, and then it'll get locked out. So then they can rotate up here and potentially engage on you or kill you or poke you or whatever, because you're going to be locked out of vision. You can't see them. Or the jungler could be rolling down here or over here and engage on you and kill you while you're trying to clear the ward, right? That happens with a lot of supports. When you try to normally ward this and then clear out a pink ward, it's super dangerous. With Zyra, You spawn a plant here, you get full vision of the area, so you can safely go up and clear this ward. You know if the jungler's coming, you know if they're rotating up here, and it helps protect you. If they want to come and try to fight you for this, you already have a plant spawned right there. They're going to take damage from the plant. Then if you E and put another plant on them while they're taking damage from this plant, you can do a lot to them. So it makes it very difficult to contest Zyra, a smart Zyra, when she's clearing your control wards out of that tri-bush, or any bush for that matter. Because she can see around the control ward, and she already has a bodyguard there with her plant. So that's what makes W really important. If you start leveling your W second, you can use that more often. You can scout here with plants. You can scout over this wall with plants. So let's say they have an annoying control ward right here or something. You put a ward here. You can't tell where they are. You can spawn a plant, check this whole area, and then maybe go around and clear it out. And you'll know if they're coming down the river to fight you for this pink, for example. Whereas if you put a normal ward there, then you try to go clear it, you know, their jungler could have snuck in through here, and, you know, they could try to gank you while you're clearing out that ward. So it just gives you a lot of extra vision control around the map to have more Ws. So it's more damage in team fights, because you're going to have more plants up. It's better vision control, and it's more opportunities for poke. So that's why I like maxing out W second. If you really need the all-in burst damage, you can max Q second in some fights if you're just desperate for the damage. But I think most of the time, maxing out W is going to be your best option. Okay, so EWQ is what I recommend. All right, let's go ahead and get in here. Check this out. All right, so we are on red side. Right away, you want to take Ignite. If you're playing Zyra, you need to take Ignite in lane. Always. Always. Take Ignite in lane, because you are the aggressive kill lane. That's what Zyra is all about. If you're not getting kills in lane, you probably shouldn't be playing Zyra, honestly. You should be going for kills. She is not a farm and chill kind of support, because you're going to get outscaled. Probably not by Thresh, but if you're playing against something like a Janna or a Lulu or Taric or just any other enchanter type of champion, they're going to outscale you. The reason is, once they get Locket plus Redemption, it's really hard to burst them. And if you don't burst with Zyra and kill somebody in a team fight, then you really are pretty worthless. Your itemization is also very expensive. So they're going to hit their items a lot faster than you, because you're having to buy like a 3,100 gold Leandries, a 2,750 Void Staff. You have to buy expensive stuff, whereas they're paying like 2,100 for Redemption, 2,200 for Locket. Like, their items are so much cheaper. So if you're not getting kills, they're going to get their items first, and they're going to outscale. So that's the issue. So that's why you need to go Ignite, and you need to be very aggressive in lanes. No, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Leave. Get down here. Get down here. No, I know you're trying to help, but you also just missed part of your wave. So they're going to hit level 2 first. Zyra has a really nice level 2. Like, you have really good poke at your level 2. And see, he's already taken like half of his health just trying to farm here. So he should have backed up without you being there, but at the same time, you should have been there. So it's okay to help on blue. I like that. But Thresh is very dangerous for his level 2. If he flash flays and then hooks, they're probably not going to do that at this elo, like low gold. No, he's not doing it. But like, as you move up, which I know you will, then they're going to do that a lot more. They're going to run Ignite, and they're going to be waiting. And the moment they pop 2, they're going to flash forward, flay you, and then hook you, and it's going to be a kill. So you need to be very aware of that. That's a very, very common Thresh tactic. Okay, what did... Okay, he didn't need to do that. But yeah, y'all don't have summoners now, so that's rough. Now, Thresh already did exhaust for some reason, so I guess you got that going for you, but... Okay. So what you want to do here to harass is try to see if you can get Ezreal. Ezreal does have biscuits in addition to his money, Klepto. I don't know why I was blanking on that. It is Klepto, so It might be hard to poke out Ezreal. You can try Thresh. I don't know what his runes are. I don't know if you can see him. Ian. Okay, Q. Okay, that's good. It's a good trade. I'm going to say, if you put damage on Thresh, he's going to be a lot less likely to want to follow up on his hooks. So you can kind of dissuade him from engaging on you. Okay, it's looking pretty good so far. Just write down what I said earlier. I'm gonna say don't miss early lane minions experience. Udyr is a very, I mean, he has a very safe, like, strong clear anyways, I'm pretty sure, so, you know, he doesn't necessarily need that big of a leash, you know? Like, maybe if this guy was like, I'm first time a Mumu or something like that, and for some reason you just didn't feel like dodging, then maybe, like, if it's an extreme circumstance, maybe you could, help them at the Grant, but under most circumstances, you do not want to give them a free level 2 advantage over you in lane. Especially versus Thresh. Okay. So, Ori and Darius just got killed. Darius is doing very well against Kled. So always kind of tab in. You need to be more aggressive. Like, you're posturing way too far back. You've got, like, Janna positioning here. I know you don't have summoners and that's scary, but... like, you need to be up in this lane harassing Ezreal. He wants to back. Do not let them push you in. Like, you need to be harassing him. Because what he wants to do right now is push you in and then go get a Tear of the Goddess. So don't let that happen. Get up here and harass him. Because when you harass him, it's also going to deal damage to the wave. Because your plants just naturally hit the wave. So Zyra naturally pushes. And so does Trist. Which is good for ensuring that he doesn't get a free back. But it's also dangerous for Jarvan. So you want to make sure you're... do you have ward? You're about to. Okay, you want to put that over here. Or like at least right here. If you're too scared to put it here, put it here. You do still have exhaust. You don't have flash, so be a little careful with Jarvan. Jarvan could be here. To be just the way Thresh is positioning right here is kind of iffy. You gotta always watch Thresh. If he like starts going near a wall or something, or just like getting in this really weird position, like he's been playing back very far. But if he starts moving up a bit more, you gotta watch out because he could lantern Jarvan in. Be careful. Oh. Oh, that was a really late ult. Okay. But in general, you need to be harassing more. Like, you need to step up and really, like, land those Qs. See, one of the nice things about Zyra is you can hide behind your minion wave and they can't hit you, right? Ezreal's not going to hit you with Qs. Okay, that was a good trade. Ezreal's not going to hit you with Qs, and Thresh is not going to hit you with hooks. But you can hit them, because your Q doesn't have to go through minions, neither does your E. So I would say you need to be posturing for more all-ins. And the way that you look for that is whenever Ezreal wants to go up for a CS, like when you see his CS, you guys need to back. Yes, yes, back. This is really dangerous. Jarvan could come down and dunk you guys. Okay, go push this with him. Just go up and Q this. I don't know if you're lagging or talking to him or what, but like just push this up and then tell him to get back. Now, Ori's coming down here again. This is a bad idea. Because you don't... okay, Jarvan's actually top because he just hit that dust. There he is. So you guys can actually push this. Alright, save your mana. Okay, good. Right there, right there. Yeah. Good. Good. I have to say save your mana for an E, and then you got a good E on Thresh there, so that's great. I mean, Jarvan is top. Y'all might be able to get this, but mid lane's probably coming. Like, Cassiopeia's probably coming. No, don't go over there. Don't go over there. No, just let him go. It's fine. Just damage tower. Yeah, there's Cassio. Exhauster, exhauster. Run back to your team, though. Yeah. Yeah, y'all overstayed a little bit. Yeah, so don't try to harass the Ezreal behind the tower like that. Like, there's no way you're going to get him. I would say, you know, like, you know Cassiopeia is coming because she left mid. I would say, like, you can harass for, like, one wave worth of time. Okay, so this is when you get the kill. So what you want to do... Just push this up, and then just ignore Ezreal and just start auto-attacking the tower. Right here, just auto-attack tower. Just ignore Ezreal, just keep autoing. Then once this next wave rolls up, you need to leave. Right here, get out. So you should have been here auto-attacking and then leave with everybody. Ping them back, and then just start running. Once she shows up, run right here into this bush and exhaust her. Then she'll run away. But, like, she got a free kill on you without getting hit by anybody. So that's the situation. I know you didn't have mana to E her there, probably. If you didn't try to harass the Ezreal, you would have had mana, though, to E her. But that's a situation where you need to rotate back into the bush and just be aware of where your teammates are and rotate to the help. And just ping, like, assist, like, help me. So you should have pinged them back off the tower, then you need to ping assist here and just go out of vision in that bush. So y'all overstayed. They're probably not going to get this tower. They might. You gotta keep in mind, Darius doesn't have TP either, so he can't help you if Kled wants to do that, but he's probably gonna get this top tower. Because at least he's auto-attacking it. Unlike that Malphite. I had someone tell me in the comments yesterday, I, like, asked Malphite to, like, auto-attack the top tower when Shin TP'd down, and someone's like, but he's a tank, he can't. Yeah, you can. You can auto-attack. Darius, also a tank. He can auto-attack right now. Like, he has very little AD at this point. Just, if you have a big wave on a tower and you auto-attack, it does damage to the tower. Anyways, okay, so what'd you buy? Yeah, don't complete Watchers, that's too much. Like, vision is really important, but on Zyra, damage is more important, early on. So I would have gone Haunting Guys here. Haunting Guys and a Control Ward. You can use the Control Ward... actually, a 2200, so... Yeah, you could have had Haunting Guys and Sork Boots. Because you get 100 off of Sork Boots, that's 700, I think. Haunting Guys, I believe, is 1550. So that's 2250, that's the same price as this. Yeah, I would have much rather had Haunting Guys, Sork Boots there. Yeah, I don't know for a Control Word, great, but that would be so massive right now. In terms of a power spike. Okay, right here. You can get Ori. Oh, never mind. Ori's on your team. Get her. Okay. Okay, so they picked up Dragon. Sorry, I was writing stuff down and talking. Didn't notice. Okay, so they picked up Dragon. Because y'all overstayed. It sucks, but, you know. Hopefully lesson learned. You can stay, like, when you're trying to push tower like that, you can stay for, like, one wave. And then you have to back up if there's too many people missing. Top was missing too. I didn't expect Kled to ult in there, but I knew Cassiopeia was coming, and Jarvan eventually would arrive. You know, obviously you don't want to get hooked, but if you do, like, you need to get your ult off. I know maybe you just ran out, but, like, you got to get quick at the hook. You just gotta E-ult WWQ. You know, like that, just, you gotta learn how to just do that really quickly. If you get caught, you just need to spam everything and just get it. And Triss maybe could have turned that around if Thresh was a lot lower. He got dunked. Alright, And we'll make sure you actually get these wards down, too. No, 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 run. Don't, you don't want to fight. You don't want that. Run. Oh, no. Like, as soon as you pop your head over here and you see her, it's like, nope. Run the other way. Actually, I mean, you have your ult. You could blow her up. Like, you could fight her there, but you gotta be expecting that she could be there. So, like, when you're rolling over here, I would probably ward over this, just to be sure. Right there. You could have, probably, EW, QW, ult, and kill her. Especially with exhaust. Or you could, she doesn't have flash. She does have barrier. You would have forced her barrier. If you had ignite, you maybe could have killed her through the barrier. Especially if you had Sork Boots of Haunting Guys, she would have been evaporated. But if you don't want to fight her, if you're not sure, like if, you know, you haven't played Zyra a ton or whatever, you're just not sure about your power spike level, then just run. If you see her there, just EW, QW her, just put a little damage on her, just run away. Yeah, she's not going Rod. She's going, I don't know what, I guess Morellonomicon, or I don't know why she has, and I meant, she does have Needlessly Large Rod, but she doesn't have Rod of the Ages, what I'm talking about. And that's important because that means she doesn't have any health. So I think you could have evaporated her. And that's why it's important to keep tabs on people. So she's super squishy. Wow. Okay, yeah, this guy's super strong. Yeah, just push middle then. Yeah, I mean, usually, Sadie, not right now. Usually you want wards and vision, and I'm always talking about that on the stream, how important like wards and vision are. And that's true, but with AP supports like Zyra, like I said, the damage is really where you want to be. And the new changes in 8.2 are going to help out with that, because you can get Frostfang, and that covers your vision, and then you can just go straight into damage. So you don't even have to worry about it. But yeah, your most important contribution as Zyra is just doing a ton of damage. Sadie, just have a seat, dear. She's over here just like looking at me. She wants to crawl on my lap, but that's where my notebook is, so she can't do it right now. Alright, what do you got? Still similar. Okay, ult him. Ult. Everything right here. A little slow. As soon as you see Jarvan right here, you need to go ahead and E him. Like, you need to be watching for that Jarvan flank. Y'all had wards here. You saw him coming, ideally. If you're just sitting there, you know, just autoing a tower or something, just be sure to watch those flanks. Jarvan loves to flank. What happened to you there? Did you get hit by an easy ult or something? Oh, you got stoned. And a tower shot. Okay. Wait, what? What killed you? Scorch? Probably Scorch. That's weird. Okay, yeah, you need to back. Ping him back. Dragon's coming up. It's Infernal, too. If they kill Darius, y'all are probably losing that Infernal. Ping him. No. You need to ping him back and then ping the dragon. Ping dragon, ping dragon. Actually, y'all need to back. Y'all need to back. Yeah. Okay, good. You did ping dragon. Jeez. The Darius Massacre. I mean, this guy has to have, like... He's going to buy a full item, probably. He's probably going to get, yeah. Dead Man's and something else. Another Chain Vest or something. No, just dead man, so that's still pretty good. Alright, y'all need a position for this. So you need to put these wards down. You need to ward here, because you just came back with a lot of wards, right? Yeah. Especially when they're all dead. You definitely should have warded here. And that's a good ward, but you need this ward too. And this. Yeah. Now they're going to be able to get into this position without... Now, you do know that Kled and Ezreal are not here, though. So you have a 3v5, potentially. Let's go ahead and fight it. 2v5. But you need to fight it before they push up bot, because they're going to come over here after they push up bot. So you've got like 20 seconds here or so before they get over here. Ezreal's still AFK bottom. He's not even paying attention. Okay. Udyr's over here getting blue instead of infernal. Alright, well, y'all gotta just wait, I guess. Just let Udyr get his blue buff. Wow, man, that is... that's tilting. Alright, what? Hold on, what's going on here? What? Alright, you gotta direct these people. Ping them back, get them out of here. Okay, I guess cleaning this is fine by you. But you gotta tell them, like, y'all gotta leave. You gotta ping these people back, like, what are they doing? Like, they're gonna get collapsed on and killed. Kled's gonna get a free top tower. Udyr's, like, farming wolves. Like, y'all are ahead, but this is not looking good. Darius might get this tower. I mean, you're pretty much just winning because Darius is, like, really powerful and they just aren't playing around him. I mean, Darius is, like, 1v9ing at this point. 1v8ing. You're doing a good job. Wow, he just gets to walk out of that. Okay. Yeah, it was a good push, so go back and buy. I want to see Sork boots here. And sell your potions and just get, like, an amp tome. I don't know how much gold you have left, but... Let's see some Sork. You gotta buy faster. Okay, good. You gotta know what you buy before you gotta know what you want to buy before you go there. And then either amp tome or blasting wand. Okay, good. Amp tome, great. Perfect. Just try to do it a little faster, but that's perfect buy. Now, press tab, make sure you're looking. Okay, good. Good ping. Letting them know. Just tell them, hey, help me ward this. You guys should probably just group up and just, like, get this middle inhibitor. Yeah, rotate over here. Just pretty much just find Darius and just stay, like, on top of Darius. Right now. Jeez, alright. Okay, good. Alright, good. Yeah, get out of there. Get out of there. Now, Darius is kind of in danger of being, like, too strong right now. Like, he wants to 1v5, probably. I mean, if at any point they figure out what the item Executioner's Calling is, or Morellonomicon, you know, that could be a problem for Darius. But so far, they haven't figured out what that item is. Okay, I like this. Proactively, like, and whoa, what? Okay, good, good ult. Okay, good. Got exhaust down. Okay, perfect. Yep. Just wait on someone else to engage. Like, Zyra's best as a counter engager, so you just wait on Jarvan to ult, basically. Make sure he doesn't ult you. I think he did ult you and you flashed out of it. So you gotta know he's gonna dunk the Trist, right? Because she just used her jump. Now that was ridiculous of Trist to start a fight like this. Okay. Now Jarvan's gonna dunk right here, right? Like, you know he is. He's either gonna dunk, he's almost certainly gonna dunk here or here, right? So you need to back up knowing that he's gonna do it. Like, you need to go right here and then just E. I like how you did that. You just E and then put down your 2 plants and ult. Try to exhaust somebody, like, right now. Well, I would wait on Jarvan first. Like, #1 priority is get out of this. Because he's going to dunk and probably get both of these people here. Yeah, he dunked all 3 of you. Okay, you probably didn't need to flash out at that point. He was so weak. But yeah, you caught him and you knocked him all up, so that was great. Okay, good. Perfect. That was a great setup, great bait with the control ward. It's perfect. Yeah, it's a great vision right here, right here. It's good stuff. Yeah, ping him. Go get this. Yeah. Bot tower is too far away. Darius is a little low. Y'all don't have Udyr. Let me tell you a trick here, too. If you put the plants right next to Baron, Baron will actually attack the plants. No, get out, get out, get out, get out. Oh, God, it's about to massacre. Yeah, Darius is just too low for that. But if you put your plants on the Baron, Baron will actually use his attacks on the plant. I think 1 attack kills a plant. I think it might actually take 2 attacks to kill the plant. But your plants can actually soak quite a bit of Baron damage. So you always want to put your plants near the Baron if you need them to tank, which you did right there because Darius is too low. But yeah, in general, you probably should have just not fought that. Like, yes, that's the right call in the abstract, but Darius is too low and you don't have Udyr for smite. And like, Ezreal could have potentially taken it with his ult. Or Thresh could take it with his hook. Who knows? So it sucks y'all really couldn't get that much more over here, but yeah, try to ward over here. Get in the habit of using your plants to check things also instead of wards. So one of the big strengths of Zyra is that you have that extra range on your wards basically with your plants, so you have better vision control than almost any other support in terms of like setting down vision in a given zone because of your plants. So like, for example, if you're a little scared to like come over here and you need vision right here, but you don't have it, you could use a plant there and then move your vision up further. I talk about this in the Zyra guide if you haven't watched that. Like how to use your plants to get better vision in conjunction with your sight ward. Because you don't have to move your wards forward. Usually you have to move your wards forward, like you have to ward kind of shallow, just so that it's safe for you to go in and ward deeper with most supports. But with Zyra, you can use your plants to get that temporary shallow vision so that you can go ward deeper. Then you don't need as many wards, and you can get better vision. Okay, that was good. Oh... Ugh. Wait, let me back up a little bit, sorry. How did you die? Okay, I know you got hit here. Where did I miss? You just burned, okay, you just burned out from cast poison. I would tell them to be careful. Like, tell them don't fight. Like, it's okay if they're here, just to create Baron pressure, but tell them not to fight. Wow, this Tristana just really likes to lose, I think. Dude, she needs to play Malphite or something. Or like a tank, something. Not Tristana. She needs to play engage. If that's what she likes to do, is jump right into the middle and like try to 1v5. And put her on a Sejuani or a Malphite or something. Okay, so y'all need to be backing up. Okay, well, she's probably dead. Yeah, they're just gonna pick you guys off. Now. Darius is starting to fall off. They're getting enough damage to kill him. Okay, y'all need to regroup. Alright, I do like the completion of Leandre's. This is the issue of something like a Darius. He's 14-1, but he's starting to lose his power, right? If this was something like a Camille, like, game's over. There's no way anyone is going to beat a Camille with that. Or, like, I mean, Gangplank would be really hard to beat, too. Like, there are just things that scale a lot harder than Darius. So Darius has been dominating, and he has been the major force in this game. But because he's, like, an early to mid-game champion, now he's starting to fall off. Because he's going all tank now, and he's never going to really do much more damage in the game than after he completes his Black Cleaver. He just gets a little tankier. No, y'all need to back up. Ping him back, ping him back, ping him back, ping him back. You need to be pinging these people back more. It's getting ridiculous. Darius still thinks it's like 15 minutes into the game, but they're going to start killing him. Y'all are throwing real hard right now. Alright, let's assess. Okay, good. You go in Void Staff next. I like that. Either Void Staff or Rylai's. I hope you're going to go Void Staff. It's going to start to get really hard. Like, Cassiopeia is finally finishing some of her core items. She's going to be very difficult for your team to deal with. Tristana's build's okay, sorta. He's dead. Unfortunately, at Zyra, you don't have a lot of itemization options to help out with this stuff. Like, you're pretty much all damage. Now, what you can do is, like, you need to be creating, like, traps, right? Like when you were hiding in a bush here, that's perfect. You need to be creating traps like that and directing your team to bait them, and then you need to catch them out of the bush with your E and full combo and kill them. Like, that's what Zyra wants. You need to be hiding in the shadows and, like, making plays. If you're just walking in plain sight, like, they're going to see you. Or if you're just allowing your team to run around and just act crazy and just keep getting caught. Now, once again, you know, you're not their mom. Like, you can't force them to do what they want to do. Of course, I guess most moms can't force a lot of kids to do what they want to do. But, you know, just direct them. Just say things like, hey, help me in this bush. Like, just make suggestions, and they will be much less likely to run around and do stupid stuff. It doesn't mean that they won't sometimes, but they're a lot less likely to do so if you make friendly suggestions. Because a lot of people are just zoned out. Like, Darius probably doesn't even know it's 29 minutes into this game. He just thinks, wow, I'm really strong, you know? Like, he's not thinking that they're catching up in items, right? He still feels like he's really far ahead, but he's not anymore. Okay, good. This is good. How? 15 seconds. Okay. You need more control wards. also. Like, this is really good. This vision's good. Okay, good. You're trying to get him here. That's good. Darius just ruined it. Okay, just get this. Yeah, just get it. It's fine. You need this warded. Now, watch out for Jarvan's dunk. You do not want to get caught in the dunk. Baron's up, so rotate over to Baron. Top is pushing. Yeah, push this up. Oh, that's a big waste. Okay, well, Darius got him. If y'all didn't kill him there, if he flag and dragged away, that'd be a huge cooldown you're missing. But now, yeah, go forward, fight him. Yeah, come over here. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Come on. It's going down. No, no, no. Don't worry about wards. Just right up middle. Right up Main Street. We're grabbing inhibitors. You already have a huge wave on that one. We're going inhibitors, and we're going triple inhibitor. Let's focus inhibitors. Go over here, get this one. No, 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 no. Ping inhibitors. You need to ping this. God, that wave is unbelievable. Alright, time to leave. Time to leave. Get out. Don't get dunked. No, you gotta stay spread out. So you can't dunk both of you. No. Run. Oh, God. That's an ace Baron, probably. It's going to be ace inhibitor. Well, no, Darius is going to be back in 12. He's going to get one tower off of it. Okay, so instead of clearing this ward, it is good to clear wards, but you need to be, when your team's about to fight, like, you have to be there. You got to be like, okay, we just killed someone here. We have a 4v5. We need to push up middle, like, now. Since you have open inhibitors. And just force them to fight you. Take this, and then take this. Ping the inhibitor. So just ping this one. Then after you take that one, ping this one a lot. And then if you still have time, gap this one. You might only be able to get 2 and then go back to Baron. If you can get 3, you should get 3. But if Triss wants to W into 2 towers like that, you might only be able to get 2. But your thought right now should be they're going to rush Baron, or they want to, right? Yeah, so y'all should have run over there. I don't know if you had time. Let me see. Okay, you just ran straight from base, pretty much. You could have told Triss to come over here and ward it, maybe. They do it so quick with Cassiopeia, though. Yeah, I don't... Especially with your deer going bottom. I mean, you could have pinged assist here and said help defend this. It might have still been too slow, but that's an option. Alright, y'all need to back up. Your deer's not here. He's on the other side of the map, so just let him push that up. Actually, just go on down there with him. There's nothing else on the map. You might as well just group up bot lane. Just go find the Udyr and group up. He's got to get Gromp, though, real quick. Hold on. He's got to go grab Gromp, and then he's got to grab Wolves, maybe his Raptors or something. Y'all need go push bot. Like, this inhibitor's already down. Now watch your team. I mean, you can just walk straight down here. I'd rather have the wave with you, but and just wait on more pressure from the other lanes. But that's fine, I guess. You need to be like right here. You need to control ward or sweep this, and then you need to hide here. Like, hide in the shadows. You're too exposed. Yeah, you're too exposed. You're right out in the open. They know where you are. They know you're a big threat, and they're just going to pick you off. Ezreal's going to run you down, probably, yeah. So, like, how you should be positioning here. You always want to be behind your team, counter-engaging. So you want to wait on Jarvan to dunk, and then you cast all of your spells and kill the Jarvan, okay? So where you need to be, everyone's here. You need to rotate around. Don't worry about pushing this. The supers are going to push it. Don't even use any spells on it, or or plants, nothing. Just save all your stuff. Roll around here. You also are maxing your Q instead of your W, so you're not going to have as many plants, which, like we talked about, I recommend maxing W. Some people will max Q second, but I think W is a lot better. But you need to be over here. You need to control ward this, or sweep it. You do have a sweeper, right? Yes. You control ward or sweep this, ward over this wall, and you need to just hang out right here. And just, what you're doing is you're waiting on either Kled to ult in, or you're waiting on Jarvan to dunk somebody here, and as soon as he does that, you cast all of your spells over this wall, spawn as many plants as you can, and ult. And then just auto-attack and hang out in the back, wait till you have more plants, just auto-attack and just spam Qs on people. But right here, they know exactly where you are, they can see when you're going to ult, they're going to stay spread out, and they might just come over here and pick you off. Okay, like Kled could ult you right now, or Jarvan could come over and dunk you. You always want to stay out of vision, if possible. Okay, so if you had been waiting right there, then you could have just ulted the Jarvan and saved the Orianna. She didn't get her ult off, I don't think. No, she didn't. So yeah, if you save the Orianna there, like you could have blown up Jarvan in the time that her hourglass was going off. And then she could have, you know, ulted somebody, and that probably could have turned the fight around quite a bit. Okay, so I'm going to write some of this down real quick for you.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Okay, so they're probably going to get 2 towers off that. Y'all need to wait. Don't be that far up. Now, they don't have Cassiopeia or Jarvan. Where are you? You need to be out here. You need to be running. What'd you buy? What is that? Oh, I guess you're gonna get like a Banshee's Veil or something. Or an Hourglass. Okay, that's fine. I'd probably get Rylai's here. Banshee's Veil is also acceptable. Right there. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, great. Perfect. Perfect. That's game. Alright, so that's what we wanted. That's exactly what we wanted. I'll show you after this why that was really good. I mean, obviously the results look good, but I'll show you why you got that result out of it. It's because you waited on them to engage, and you were right there ready to hit them after they engaged. So Kled tried to make a move, and you punished him really hard for it. And you ended up hitting a bunch of people with your plants, and then Orianna followed up on that with her ball. And that probably just won you guys the game, potentially. I mean, we'll see. But no, don't flash. E him. E him, E him, E him, E him. There you go, good. At least make him hit you with the rope before you flash. Oh crap, can I not go back? Let me see. I don't know what... Okay, yeah, I can. Alright, so let me show you this fight again. This is what you should have been trying to do, sort of, the whole time. I mean, you're not hiding in the shadows, but you are in a good position to counter-engage. So you're ready for them to go on one of you. Is this before or after they all died? Okay. Alright, so you're just working inhibitor. You should be auto-attacking the inhibitor more while you're waiting on them. Just hanging out, waiting, like right here. As soon as they go in, right there, boom. They're all lined up. Now, you needed to E right there also and hit them with, like, all of your plants. But you did get the ult down, and you do have a couple of plants right there. Back up just a little bit. Is your E available? Okay, you don't have a plant, but you do have an E. Oh, you try to use your E there. Okay, you need to hold your E and wait on them to engage. Okay, so that was kind of good. Like, you did get the ult in there, and that was really nice. But you need to hold your E. Don't try to poke with your E, okay? You can, if you want to, you can use your Q and a W to poke. Now, because you don't have any points in your W, though, it's going to take a very long time to get your W back. If you had max W, you could poke with your Q, W more. Okay, so you can't poke that much with the way you have skilled. You have to hold your plants for the big one. But don't ever use your E to try to max range E at this point to try to engage on somebody. You need to try to hold it, wait on them to engage, especially when they have something like a Kled or a Jarvan. They'll try to engage on you. If they don't engage on you, you just walk in and get all of their inhibitors. They have to engage on you. Otherwise, you just get their stuff. Like, your team doesn't have to engage on them. You also have the higher scaling ADC with more range. Well, I guess Ezreal has more range technically, but they have to engage on you. Okay, so you just wait on it. E them right there. It's perfect E. Boom, nice. Okay, so that's how you play Zyra, is really as a counter engager, not as an engager. Like, the only time when you really want to function as an engager is when you are out of vision, like you did around mid lane when you're out of vision, and you know you're going to be able to get a free E hit on them. Then you can engage. But in general, you need to just wait, because that E moves so slowly. Okay, but overall, great job. So write that down. All right. Okay, so number one, let's see, don't miss early lane XP. It's experience. So it's okay to help with blue. Don't help with Gromp. You don't have time. Okay, so it's especially your deer. His clear. It's going to be fine. I like that in the spirit of support. You want to help people out as much as possible. I totally feel you on that. But you need to get there and get level 2, and it's really, really important, especially against Thresh. You do not want him to have level 2 on you. Because like I said, as you start moving up, you start gaining some more elo, which I know you will. You're going to start facing some smarter Threshes that are really going to go all in hardcore once they hit level 2. That's a classic Thresh move, is flash, flay, wait on you to flash, then hit you with a hook. And then kill you, and so then you don't have your flash, and you're dead, and then he's just gonna sit on you in lane, and it's not gonna feel good. So you need to make sure that you're hitting level 2 about the same time he is. So at least you can put up some damage with your Q poke and get him low enough to where he doesn't want to do that. So you want to rush more damage on Zyra early on. With a lot of other supports, as I explained earlier, you do want that vision early, and it's very important. But on Zyra, it's really important that you snowball. You have to get ahead early. She's very oppressive in lane because not only does she have good poke, she has very good all-in. And there aren't many champions that have that. I can't even think of any champions that have that, except for maybe Brand. Like, Nami has good poke, you know, Karma has good poke, Sona has good poke, Lulu has good poke. They don't have nearly the same kind of all-in kill threat that Zyra does. So she has the all-in kill threat of someone like a Leona, but she also has the poke of someone like a Sona. So you really need to leverage that, and that makes her one of the, like, most hardcore, like, hard carry early game champions as support. And you really need to use that to your advantage. And you have a lot of free poke on Zyra that other champions don't have. It's just, it always hits them. It doesn't matter where the minion wave is. You can just QW right on top of them, and it's going to hit them. That's why she's been nerfed a lot over the last, like, 2 years or so. She's still very good, but she used to be, like, just pick ban every game for a couple of years there. Or at least, like, certain moments in time when that style of champion was good in the bot lane. she was the go-to person for that because there's very little counterplay to her in lane. Okay. Your E is the same way. You can all in through the minions. Your E goes through the minions to hit people, and then you can just all in them with your plants. Whereas like Blitzcrank has to have an open shot, Thresh has to have an open shot, Brand to get his proper combo has to have an open shot with his Q. All of these other champions that have all in kill threat, almost all of them have to have a clean shot, except for like Leona. She can E through the wave, but she doesn't have the same kind of poke that Zyra does either. So Zyra is just like, you really, really want damage early as Zyra to be very oppressive in your lane. And she falls off late game, as I explained before, because her items cost way more gold and they have a lot less utility than items like Redemption, Locket, Knight's Vow, Face the Mountain. All that kind of stuff is going to have a lot more utility that you can spread throughout your team. And it's just going to create a much more powerful dynamic a lot of times in fights if it goes too long and you're not ahead. If you are ahead, if you get your double penetration items early enough, you can completely take over the game. Like, it's not uncommon to see Zyra do #1 damage in the game from the support role if you snowball hard enough. So your utility is your damage, so you have to have a lot of damage. Okay, now like I said, in 8.2, you need to rush Frostfang because that will give you the wards and that'll give you more damage in lane, and it gives you more gold so that you can keep up and snowball and get more of those bigger items faster. So you'll want to complete your Frostfang, but not go beyond that in the future. So just Frostfang into Haunting Guys into Sork Boots will be the 8.2 build. Okay, but for right now, on 8.1, for the next few days, you still want to rush an Amp Tome as fast as possible and then just kind of feel it out from there. If you're really far behind, maybe you go Sightstone, but I would really, just go Haunting Guys at least first, and then go Sightstone after that. You really, really want that damage so that you have a very high kill threat when you hit 6. Okay. So you do this some, right? And you did make some good calls, but you have to stop people from just running around doing stupid stuff all the time. Like I said, should you have to do it? No. They should know how to play. But honestly, if you want to climb, you have to play better than everybody else. It's not enough just to play on the same level as everybody. You have to be significantly better than other people in your elo if you want to climb. And the way that you have to help build them up too. So not only are you better, you have to get them to play better, especially as the support role. Like, that's a huge thing, is being able to make your team better. Just like a point guard in basketball. I don't know if basketball is too big in Greece or whatever, but any sort of team sport, I'm not real big on European football or like soccer, so we call it in America, but you have to make your team better through proper shot calling. Okay, so it's not, you can't let them autopilot, and it's not enough for you to know what to do and not say anything. You have to actively help them make better decisions. Like I said, most people, there's this myth going around that you shouldn't ever type, you should mute all, all that kind of stuff, and I know you've probably heard me dismiss that on stream before. And the reason why you don't do that is you need to properly shot call, because most people recognize a good call when they hear it, right? It's like a lot of people know a good thing when they see it. This is like the whole, principle of why advertising works, right? We are just naturally just a very, I was going to say suggestive species, but that doesn't sound right. But we're open to suggestion, right? Like, that's just a big part of being a human is... we're all about inquiry, we're all about, understanding, knowing more, and suggestion is very, very powerful. That's why when we see an advertisement for, a really good, restaurant, or, really good food that we want, or, a really cool gadget, we didn't know that we wanted that, but once we see it, then we're like, oh, yeah, I want that, right? Because the idea hadn't gone in our head. Maybe we'd get around to thinking, oh, there's this really good pasta place down the road. I like that, but... maybe not, but if we see a commercial for it, then we'll be like, oh, wow, that just reminded me. That's a really good pasta place, and I want to go eat there again. And so it's the same thing in League, as a lot of people are just kind of on autopilot, and they're just not thinking critically about what to do. But if you tell them, if you make a really good suggestion, like, hey, let's go wait in this bush, or hey, let's go bait Baron here, or hey, let's rotate over here, they'll be like, oh, yeah, that sounds like a really good idea. I would go do that. So they know it's good, they just won't think of it on their own. But if you suggest it, they'll recognize it, and they'll want to go do it. Okay, so not everybody. I don't know if anything that you could possibly say would stop that Tristana from Wing into fights. She just loves to do that. But, you know, it might stop them from running around as much in the Fiesta. So it's worth a try. It doesn't hurt. You know, as long as you do it politely, it doesn't hurt. And it potentially could help quite a ton if done in the right way. So I think you need to shot call more. You did it some, but do it a bit more. Try to stop the Fiesta. They almost came back on you because everyone's just running around doing their own thing with no cohesive game plan. So that's a big one. And I tried to point out places like in the commentary where you might want to do that a bit more. We'll scroll that down because that's like an overall thing. For the laning phase, so you need to be very aggressive in the lane with Zyra. You need to constantly, every time your seed is up, you need to be thinking, okay, how can I translate this into damage onto Ezreal? And the way that you do this is just watch the minion's health, right? Whenever your minions get low on health, you know he's going to go for it. And when he goes for it, he has to stand still to do that auto attack animation. I mean, he can Q it from a distance, but he's going to run out of mana. So if he's standing still, that means he's going to get hit by your Q. So whenever he walks up to try to last hit that minion, you need to WQ him, or QW him, and then auto-attack him until he runs away. So you need to be landing auto. Zyra has a very long auto range, it's 575, which is, Ezreal only has a 550 auto range, so you outrange him. And eventually you're going to chip away at him. And this is how it works with a lot of champions, is whenever you see them going for CS, they have to choose, do I want to get that CS? Or do I want to avoid Zyra's damage? If you want to avoid the damage, then you're going to miss the CS. So if he tries to dodge your route or like E backward, then he's going to miss the CS. And so over time, you're going to force him to miss a lot of CS by doing that. Or he's going to take a lot of damage, he's going to have to back, you push the wave into the tower, and he misses CS anyways. So that's eventually how you get an advantage in lane, is you constantly make them make bad choices, where both options are bad for them. Either they miss the CS or they take damage. So that's how you truly get ahead in lane and start to master the laning phase, especially on aggressive supports, is you constantly make them make that choice, damage or CS. The CS is never free, it always has a price. So that's a lot better than just randomly going up and trying to Q him, like when he's just hanging out in the back, when he's not trying to CS, when none of your minions are low, and he can just walk out of it or, you know, just dodge it. So that is how you want to play it. You want to try to land those Qs with the plants when he's trying to CS. Okay. So position out of sight more often. Just walk around corners and ward over walls. Constantly sweep. Make sure that people don't see you. And then they won't see the roots coming. And that's how you do it. You did, that was excellent, where you set up that pink ward and baited Baron like that. That was probably the best play of the game that really gave you guys a ton of momentum. I think that's when you got your first inhibitor or two right there. But that was a huge play. You need to do that much more often. It's just hide out in the shadows. You know, like I said, bot lane, when everybody's running around here getting ready to fight, you were over here. Instead, wrap around and just hide right here. Just like put a pink ward here or sweep it and just hide right here. Just wait, and then that way, when Jarvan dunks Orianna right here, you just E full combo him over this wall. And then that'll probably one-shot him, and then it zones everybody else out with your plants and your ult, and then Ori gets to wake up and either get away or at least use her ult before she dies. So that's a good place to do it. You guys set up right here, which is really good. If there's a fight going down, I'm trying to remember where there were some other major fights. There are like some fights down around here. You can be hiding, like, if you're trying to siege this tower, potentially you could hide like over here and just hit people over the wall with roots here. You know, if there's a fight going down like around this area, like just be around here, hit them over the here with the roots. So you just constantly want to be hiding in the shadows. Like maybe if there's a fight in mid lane, you can hide here and just try to hit people like here with the roots. Just constantly try to hide on the edges and just hit people over walls with these roots as much as possible. So you don't want them to see you. So you want to be close to the action, but just like kind of be out of sight whenever possible. If not possible, you need to be hanging out in the very back, wait on them to engage onto you, and then use your roots onto them. Kind of like you did with the Kled at the end there. But yeah, just hide in the shadows and just look for opportunities there more. And that's the same of any skill shot champion. If you're Blitzcrank, if you're Thresh, if you're Zyra, anything that has a really important skill shot with a lot of damage on it, you want to be trying to hide out in the shadows so that they don't see those skill shots coming. So you want to wait on the enemy to make the move, and then you counter engage. So once like Jarvan dunks somebody, or once Kled runs in, then that's when you step up, you hit him with the full combo and kill him. You didn't really have any engage on your team other than like Darius landing a pull. So you kind of had to wait on them to engage onto you. But you don't just want to throw an E max range against a target that's not CC'd. Because then you're not going to have your E ready when they engage onto you. Like a smart enemy will know they should engage after you miss your E because you're not going to have your crowd control anymore. So Kled kind of tried to do that, but he goofed it up and you still had your ult. But yeah, try to look for that more often when you play Zyra. You aren't the primary engager unless it's out of the shadows. Okay, if you're just hanging out in the back like that, you have to wait on them to go onto you, and then you counter engage. So when it's a 4v5 after somebody gets picked off, you just need to get with your team. There are a couple of times you're clearing wards or like setting up wards on the side. You need to just be with your team and just push and try to get an advantage several times. So just make sure if you kill somebody that when you have a power play and you're trying to get an objective or push a lane or something, that you're just with your team ready to help. So hold your plants and try to save them for the engage if a play is imminent. So you don't want to try to EW at max range, for example, and miss it when they're watching you, because then if they counter engage, you're only going to have one plant and you're not going to have your E. So just your W will ensure that you can poke a little bit more, like using a QW to poke if you have a maxed out W. That's fine. You will do a bit more damage, and you'll still have at least one W and an E and an ult ready to go if they do counter engage. But if you're maxing W last, it's a 20-second cooldown. You don't get a lot of CDR as Zyra. You're going to have 10% from Frostfang, and that's it most of the time. So you really don't want to be using those plants just for a little bit of poke if you don't have the W maxed out second. You want to hold it so that you have both of them for the big engage. Okay, and that's going to be it. Thank you very much. As always, I really appreciate it, Jenny. I know we've got another replay from Jenny coming up soon. Hopefully this will help you out with your Zyra play. For anyone else out there that would like a coaching session, you can email me at thestrategyprofessor@gmail.com. I'm going to try to get those done. I usually can, depending on my workload, within a few days. Maybe like 3 to 5 days. Sometimes I can get them done on the same day if I have nothing else on the docket. But we've been a little busy lately, but we're chugging our way through them here. Just email me at thestrategyprofessor@gmail.com if you're interested in that. It's just $20. Pretty good bargain for the amount of effort that I put into these. I think it helps people out a lot. I've heard people tell me that, you know, they've gained a lot of elo off of this. I know at least one guy on the channel, Dylan, who used to come around quite a bit. He's taken a little sabbatical during the preseason to play some World of Warcraft, but he'll come back with us soon, I believe. But he went from Bronze 5 all the way up to Gold 5 off of some of these coaching sessions. I've heard people tell me they've gone from Platinum to Diamond, from Gold, you know, to Platinum. There's been a lot of moves. So I think it's helpful. So if you want to be a part of that, you can just email me. We can set that up. If you want to watch more coaching videos, if you don't have $20 to spare, but you learned a lot off of it, and you want to learn some more, you can watch more off the coaching playlist here. I'll always catalog all of them. I think we've got, this is the 82nd, I believe, coaching video, so there's a lot in there to watch. And if you would like to watch an in-depth champion guide, I do have a Zyra guide. Just check it out on this list. And there's a bunch of other guides too, and I've constantly got more of those coming out. So anyways, that's going to be it. Thank you very much. Have a good day, and I'll see you all next time.